Tell me about now that we have defined what hip hop is. Tell me about this about this effort to give people access to, I don't know how you phrased it, to give people access to ebadenga kale gentrification nga ne gentrification
the neighborhood
egeva mu ghetto is the one gentrifying. When you take it double,
I hear you.
Explain it to us now that we understand hip hop chechi. Then Kati, your new efforts and what you're trying to achieve in the community.
So I believe that we are here for a specific reason.
Yeah.
And once we find out that reason is to honor and God and the blessings of our ancestors that inform us to fulfill the assignment. And part of my assignment has always been to be a bridge builder. And in building bridges, and that's why I'm a kid of the diaspora who came home, is building bridges became a passion of mine when I realized that balance to what I had could help another person rise.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because I could have easily stayed in Canada, experimented and did what I did and just...
No, Putin.
But
you call it Putin or Putin? Putin, yes.
And so at the end of the day, I got into a space of understanding that my assignment within the Lugaflow. Now, mind you, I want to use the word Lugaflow in its excellence.
Yes.
Because I believe Lugaflow is a God-given gift to this country. Without Lugaflow, so many young people today would be locked out of margins of access.
Of course. And
so because we understand that, we do not take this lightly as some fad that's passing, but as a contribution to the country. There's young men and young women who've indoctrinated themselves within the Lugaflow discipline, have become leaders, have become teachers, have become servants, and they are contributors to this nation now.
Yes.
By availing young people learning spaces. So even the education system in Uganda is not rewarding them for the work they are doing, but abroad, this is what you'll call after-school learning.
Yes.
Which still gets funded, which still gets supported, except in this country, within the neighborhood, there's no frameworks to support such initiatives.
Exactly.
And so when you talk about my future going forward, is to ensure that the 5-year-old has access to imagine.
Yes.
You mentioned how your friend told you about Uganda lost imagination.
Yes, and that it was our role, we the philosophers and poets of the time,
to spark that. My question today, when did it imagine?
When did Uganda imagine?
Even the liberation movement, was that all imagination? It's great to antagonize and talk about that.
Yes.
Because political leaders have a certain form of imagination and casting their own visions.
Yes.
But what's the imagination of the people and what future? Does Uganda look like what they imagined 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago?
If they're even imagining it.
That's the question.
And is the imagination uniform?
And if we're living in their imaginations today, now you know what they imagine. So it's not even a question.
Okay. I think that... So... Let's imagine what the imaginers of 1950 thought before Natuka independence. Then also let's imagine the people who are full of hope, seeing the Union Jack falling and our flag going up. What were they imagining? Then what was Obote imagining?
Exactly.
What was Benchwanuka imagining? Omusajja signing a 1900 Kagudi Kachwa. I didn't say Kachwa. Forgive me, Baganda. Don't read my comments. The king said, forgive me. Signing a 1900 agreement. The child, what was he imagining? What was going to happen? Mutesa, when he flew to ask for the autonomy of Buganda from Uganda, what was he imagining?
And I believe...
imagination area, politics, that's all imagination.
And I believe that that's the bank that got robbed out of this country. Imagination.
Imagination, yes.
Because there is no historical reference in living form of what they imagined. When you go to D.C., there's a building called the J.F. Kennedy Center.
Yes.
Of the arts.
Of
the arts.
Of the arts, yes.
They show you what J.F. Kennedy imagined. Right? And so you could walk through a living imagination and you could be, oh, that's what he thought? Wow, great, he existed.
Again, that's another challenge. That I don't think it's the government that's going to build it. Still, it has to be efforts and to the community. But there is need for have. When I look at our museum, I almost cry.
Is it one?
I almost cry. Singe baji kwasaba hip hop never gamba banange. Let's work together and tell these stories. To today's stories that take okubera told waneno. Niche kabambi nabo bali underfunded. Ochiraba. Ne a place where the next generation is free to imagine.
But what are companies doing? My thing is that also
kutunda byamaguzibo.
Ani tunde byamaguzi omanyi omumerika kye mwagalako. Agenda tunde byamaguzi naye agambe community ekyamwe kiikyo. Kye mwagalako. Agenda kuleeta real estate awo. Akole flows ziri 3-5 abagambe ezo zammwe muteeke mu programming. Akole
actually neka kodranga kafule abana basobola okuzanyira. Nga naye yonna
ayimusizza. Naye wano buli akola akedi tewali nawo ogenda fuka ezimu zibunya
n'okuwoya ate toyi otekawo toyi yongerako edduuka wali edduuka libetene baba tusobola okunyumya
so olabye obwongo bwaffe gye buli.
Yes.